adding poison.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chawanne Burns. Please click that like button and that subscribe button. We are live watching the Senate debate for the $2,000 stimulus check. Okay, so right now I'm streaming PBS and there is a live debate going on. Currently, there's a senator up here discussing why they should release or grant or pass this revision to the stimulus bill to give working Americans the $2,000 stimulus check. And he pointed out, hey, people can't pay rent, they can't supply food. Sorry, I had welcome back to my channel. My name is Chawanne Burns. Please click that like button and that subscribe button. Sorry, I had you guys on mute. I decided to go live today and stream the live debate for the stimulus bill. Currently, there's a senator on the floor discussing why they should pass this amendment to the bill and release the payment, $2,000 direct payment to the American people, and that's for low income and middle income families. He noted the 2 points he highlighted, we just missed it, that one, people are struggling to pay rent, they're struggling to provide food, housing, and the necessities to be able to survive in America. And then number two, he also pointed out that, hey, over the pandemic, the 600 wealthiest people in America, their wealth increased by $1 trillion. $1 trillion. Over 600 people of the 600 wealthiest people increased during the pandemic. Okay? And they're having a problem passing the stimulus check, $2,000 to the American people. Another thing he also pointed out that Trump must misunderstand, or he doesn't have a broader view of how much of foreign aid is spent. He said if we total all the foreign aid that they're allocating in the government budget, it won't even come close to the $2,000 direct payment to all the American people. Okay, so right now they're about to change over. I'm going to take it off mute and we could listen to what they're saying. Hey, if you're tuning in, click that subscribe button, click that like button. Please share this video. Let me see. And I guess right now they're on break right now. So another point that I want to highlight to now, while they're changing over and getting the next senator in there for a debate, I just dropped a video this morning in regards to the stimulus check. In this last stimulus bill, they put a bunch of revisions and restrictions, not only on the stimulus check, but the PPP loan and the economic injury disaster loan. They made the restrictions, and since we're talking about the stimulus check, they made the restrictions so bad on the stimulus check that you might eventually, if you didn't get direct deposit last time for the stimulus, you might end up having to wait until you file your taxes to even benefit for the stimulus check, because they gave the IRS till January the 15th to distribute the payments. Okay, so we're talking about 15 working days or 10 working days for the IRS to send out stimulus check. Okay, and so if you were received a check, an actual check, last stimulus check. I know I didn't receive our check. I think it was like June or July when I received a check. So, and number one, let me make a disclosure. I didn't think we were qualified for the check. So we must have just hit that mark saying we were able to receive a stimulus check, but it was deducted from the original amount, whatever calculation they had. But what I'm saying to you guys is, even though they pass the stimulus check, even if it's $600 or $2,000, if you're not a direct deposit, you might have to wait for your stimulus check until you file your taxes. And really, it's unfortunate that a group of people, the lawmakers, do not know what the average American needs. They made these restrictions and they do not know what the average American needs. You know, so we are in some trouble. We think there's a sigh of relief, but it's going to take them too long to even get you the money, you know. So let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. Are you wanting them to pass this bill? And if so, what are you using? What do you need the money most for? Is it to cover rent or mortgage, or just like the regular day expenses like food? You know. So let me know in the chat section. I hear Carmelo Ortiz is online. Thank you for joining us. It looks like they're about to get somebody else in here. So let's see what's going on. So they're taking so long. Well, if you don't have your check by the 15th, they're saying that you have to claim it on your taxes, and it's called a rebate. It's a form that you fill out. And while we're waiting for that, let me see if I could direct you to that form. Now, I looked it up this morning, and it's I'm just going to put this in a different window. Also, I do have a non-filer video that I'm going to drop. I dropped one before for the last stimulus check. However, they closed the portal down. You had to put your information in there prior to, I believe it's November the 20th. So I just need to do some research to see how can the non-filers and the people that did not receive the first stimulus check, because you can claim, even if you didn't receive the first stimulus check, you still could claim it. So it's saying that when you file your 2020 Form 2040 or 2040 SR, you may be eligible for the recovery rebate credit. Save your IRS letter. It's supposed to be a notice 1444, your economic impact payment with your 2020 tax records. You'll need the amount of the payment in the letter when you file in 2021. Okay? So it says, did you miss the deadline to register online for the economic impact payment? You may still be eligible to receive payment in 2021. You did not register online by mail and did not get a payment in 2020. You received the payment, but it wasn't the full amount of the economic impact payment. The maximum credit is $1,200 or $2,400 if you're married filing jointly, plus $500 each qualifying child. Okay? Then they're saying that you must, when you file your 2020 taxes, you must file the recovery rebate credit. Okay? These forms can also be used by people who are not normally required to file tax returns but eligible for the credit. So, if you owe taxes, they're just going to deduct the credit. But if you have a refund, they're saying that people keep on calling me. Sorry. If you have a refund, they're saying that it will be added to your refund. Okay. You could check your status by Get My Payment application. I think I got a video out there, but if I don't, I'll make one. So who qualifies for the rebate credit? Those people that I mentioned. You didn't receive the initial taxes, and then the initial economic impact payment, and you or didn't receive the full amount. Okay, and non-filers can also do this. Okay. So yeah, you guys, they're bull crapping us around. So I want you remember. I'm gonna put this website in there. It's irs.gov, and just click on in, income economic impact payment. Don't let the government, they owe you that money. So don't when you file your taxes, if you did not receive your stimulus check, make sure when you file your taxes, you fill out this form, the recovery rebate credit worksheet. Okay? Don't let them slide by of not like that slide with you not receiving that money. Okay? Do not do that, because they owe you that money. Okay. Let me just type it in the comment section. And for some reason, since I'm typing on my phone, it's doing autocorrect. Okay. Okay, so another thing that I want to show you guys in regards to, let's see what they're doing. In regards to the credit, now this is only for the individuals that did not file. Okay, you did not file taxes for 2019 or 2020. Okay, you saying you didn't file taxes. You're not required to file taxes because you are Social Security recipient or disability or VA benefit or whatever, railroad retirement, whatever it is, or whatever the case may be. Those people, if you received your debit card, it's a prepaid debit card last year, or actually it was this year, the beginning of this year, for the economic impact payment, you will still receive another one, okay? And it's going to be mailed to you. Okay, so like I said, in the bill, the United States Treasury Department has up until January the 15th to distribute all these money to the public, okay? Anyone who's eligible to receive the economic impact payment, they have a stipulation on here that on January 15th, if you have not received it, you must file for a credit, okay? So if you're one of those people that don't receive and lawfully for 1099 contractors or any type of W-2 forms, lawfully your job or your employer, they're not, they have a January 30th deadline for you to receive that. So unfortunately, you won't be able to claim that credit. That's if you don't receive it, you won't be able to claim that credit until January the 30th. That's your employer's deadline to get that 1099 form or your W-2 forms out, okay? So one, if you already received the economic impact payment, the first one, direct deposit, you don't have anything to worry about. More likely, yours will get direct deposit. But for those who received the check, for those who had a debit card, you might be on you might be forced to claim it as a credit, okay? Okay, so let's see what they're doing here. If you have any questions, put that in the chat box. I do have Super Chat available, so if this is your first time tuning in, or if you would like to support the channel, any donation is appreciated. Yeah, so I guess they're on, I don't know what they're doing now, but maybe they're waiting for the other senator to come in to debate. It doesn't tell me who's next on the lineup. Let's see. Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell declined for addressing the public today. Okay, so we won't hear from Mitch McConnell. We'll hear some Democrats today. Trump, let's see. So yeah, they don't really have a lineup on this roster, but it looks like Mitch McConnell won't be joining us. I don't know if he was here earlier, but it doesn't look like that. We got somebody else walking in. I don't know what they're doing. Let me know what are you planning to use your stimulus check for? Do you really need this $2,000 stimulus payment? Let me know in the chat section. Go and watch that video, not now, but when we break, go and watch the video. This stimulus bill, it can be amended today. I don't know how many people they're planning to have to come out on the debate roster, but it could go on the vote today, and more likely we'll stream that live if I get any information from that. Okay. Let's see. What other information do we have that I could give you guys? Okay, it says, I received a letter from the IRS, notice 1444A, from the IRS telling me I have to act to claim an economic impact payment by October the 15th. You know, this says October the 15th. And it said they updated their website, so I don't know. If you did not file 2019 or 2018 tax return or register for a payment using the non-filers tool, that's the tool I made available, that video I have, you may be eligible to claim the recovery rebate credit. Okay, when you file your 2020 taxes, receiving a letter is not a guarantee of eligibility for the economic impact payment. For more information on eligibility requirements, we have to go to eligibility income impact payment. Eligibility requirements. Am I eligible? You are eligible if your income does not exceed $150,000 if married and filing jointly. No, you are eligible for the first income economic impact payment of the $1,200 stimulus check, okay? And you did not receive it. So we're going over the first economic impact payment. You are eligible if you are married and filed a joint return making $150,000 or less, filing head of household $112,000 or less, or individual filing single $75,000 or less. Your payment will be reduced by 5% of the adjusted gross income if it exceeds those thresholds, okay? You're not eligible if you was claimed by another person as a dependent. You do not have a valid Social Security number. You are a non-resident. The following is not also not eligible if they are deceased. So you can't claim people that either died this year or died during the pandemic or died prior, okay? So if they're deceased, you're not eligible. I had a question in my inbox whether or not they will still get the first economic impact payment. That goes back to one we just viewed, topic B. If you receive that notice 1444 form, you could still recover your economic impact payment on your taxes as a recovery rebate tax credit, okay? If you don't file taxes, you're still able to file this 2040 SR, okay? As a recovery rebate credit. Okay, if you wasn't able to put your information in and all that good stuff, so the IRS don't know where you live at and all that good stuff, you still may be able to claim the first stimulus check and the second stimulus check. Okay, if you're just joining us, we're doing a live viewing of the Senate debate in regards to the $2,000 COVID-19 relief checks. Okay, this is a direct payment to you instead of the $600. And I already noted, I just dropped a video this morning that in this stimulus bill, they put a lot of stipulations. So the U.S. Treasury Department has until January the 15th to distribute these payments. If they don't distribute by then, it's left up to you to claim your economic impact payment. Okay? If they don't make that deadline, you have to claim it on your taxes. And if you owe taxes, they will deduct the amount that you owe. And if you don't owe taxes and you are due a refund, they will add it to the refund amount. And it's a recovery rebate credit form that you have to fill out. Go to irs.gov and you will be able to access that form. Okay? irs.gov and click on economic impact payment. We're just waiting for them to go back live, and then I'm going to put the stream on. We're streaming from PBS and we're watching the debates for the $2,000 COVID relief. Okay, there's other stipulations that you guys might not know. They're saying that, hey, if I owe money on my car note, would they take my economic impact payment? No, they won't. So if you owe on your car note, they won't take it. However, if you owe child support, they will take your payment. You will not receive a relief payment. They will take that. Okay? No, Dwayne, they're doing a live debate. Mitch McConnell, he did not want to address the public, so he's not here. Okay, so let's see. I have several people saying that Mitch McConnell blocked it, but right now they're debating on the floor, so I don't know how that's possible. They're putting it as a vote today, so at the House, let's see. Shoot. I'm just gonna look up to see what's the latest news. I just looked it up. I didn't see what you guys are saying. Okay. It says, "Oh snap." Oh snap. It's too much for Google. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It says this was 3 minutes ago. It doesn't say that.
Me? No, nobody's even talking to you.
Can't. And I'm talking to the television or this. I'm streaming on YouTube. No, he's saying that he declined for immediate votes. Chuck Schumer was calling for immediate vote, and because it's a growing number support of Republicans wanting a $2,000 stimulus check, but this is why they're debating now because Mitch McConnell is saying no, we don't want an immediate vote. We want to debate this. Okay. So it's still on the floor, you guys. It's still in play. He just didn't want a immediate vote. But if they're having a growing support of Republicans for this, it might pass. So maybe Chuck Schumer is trying to, stall for the vote so he could make sure he has enough people supporting this to deny the bill. Okay, so it's still in play. That's what the debate is for. He blocked an immediate vote. An immediate vote is because Chuck Schumer was saying that there's a growing number of Republican senators that is supporting Trump $2,000 COVID-19 stimulus payments. Okay. So that's what we're watching now. So they're still debating it. It's still going to vote, but he doesn't. There's 51 other representatives in the Senate, so he can't just block something that was already passed in the House. He has to put it up on the floor. Okay, let's see. So what Mitch McConnell tactics, he's probably, like I said, he's probably trying to rally the senators that he might think will vote against this bill. And that's why he just want to, do a temperature check before bringing everybody together to vote for it. There is, right now, I don't know, they might be waiting for another senator to come in to debate, or maybe they're at lunchtime. But like I said, there is still time for them to approve this this direct payment to the American people. And why not? I mean, they giving everybody else money. Like, you giving everybody else money, but the people who live here, you ain't gonna give them no money. It's just ridiculous. Okay, let's see who's on here. So we have several people on here. Yedzil Yemenis, thanks for joining us. Octavius X Maid. And we have Vincent M, Kiana Morgan, Lori Toller. You guys, thank you for joining us. Kiana, thank you for subbing. Loving your channels thus far. Thank you. Thank you. I haven't put my foot in my mouth yet, so stay tuned. But that's what editing is for, I guess. Yeah, you guys, please subscribe to my channel. I am so close to 10,000 subs, so hopefully by December the 31st or January the 1st, I will cross the 10,000 sub mark. It's some accomplishment, I guess I could put under my belt. But I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Let me know if you want more videos of what type of topics you want me to discuss this year. This is a business channel, so I try to keep it within the business zone. But if you want to hear other stuff, shoot it in the comment section and maybe we could talk about that. Okay, so while we're waiting, let's kind of discuss what they have on the COVID relief bill. If you're just joining us, January the 15th, if they pass this bill 2000 direct payment or not, or if they just put forth the $600 direct payment.
Madam President.
Okay, they're coming back.
The senator from Texas is recognized.
Madam President, I'd ask that the quorum call be dispensed with.
Without objection.
Madam President, we didn't expect to be in session this week, but we are. And of course, as we all know, the theme for this entire year has been COVID-19.
This is the senator from Texas.
330,000 Americans have died from the novel coronavirus. Tens of millions have lost their jobs, and every community across the country has felt the devastating blow dealt by this pandemic. But as we know, the threats that existed long before this virus still are with us. Even though most of the world hit pause to battle COVID-19, our adversaries did not. And our brave service members didn't pack their bags and not show up for work when everybody else shut down. Over the last several months, as the Senate has worked to support our country through this pandemic, we've kept an eagle eye on the other threats on the horizon. And we passed the National Defense Authorization Act to ensure that we are prepared for whatever comes at us. For our forces to continue fighting and defeating our adversaries in every corner of the world, they need funding, they need stability, they need to be able to plan, and they need the unwavering support of the United States Congress and all 330 million Americans. The 2021 NDAA provides that support from Congress. It will prepare our military and service members to address the threats that exist today while preparing for those that we will inevitably face tomorrow. Earlier this month, this legislation passed the House by a vote of 335 to 78, and the Senate by a vote of 84 to 13. Those are rare vote margins in Congress these days, and that alone is a testament to the importance of this legislation and its bipartisan support. We know the President has the constitutional authority to veto any bill for virtually any reason, and he has exercised that
Cannon,
power
can you bring me my
with this legislation. The reasons the President has given, I don't think are frivolous at all. That they just shouldn't be tagged to this particular piece of legislation. His concerns about Section 230 and the under the Communications Decency Act and the power of these social media platforms to censor speech is troubling indeed. This is something we really haven't confronted before. We know that under the First Amendment, the government can't censor speech, but with small town newspapers and media outlets and other alternatives fading away, more and more of the American people rely on Facebook and Google and other internet platforms to get their information. And they have, I believe, become de facto public forum. So I agree that we do need to address Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, as the President has pointed out. The President also has a point about the commission to rename military bases that's part of the Defense Authorization Act. Unfortunately, the amendment that was adopted in the Armed Services Committee undermines the role of Congress once the commission makes its report to do as Congress believes should be done. But the truth is, as we've learned from our friends across the pond in the UK, no parliament can bind a future parliament, and indeed no Congress can bind a future Congress. That's true. So if these are things that the President believes we should address and that members of the Congress and the new administration believe we should address, we will address them. And we have an opportunity to do that. But we should not try to do that on this bill and risk the loss of this important piece of legislation now in its 60th year of adoption. The Defense Department hands down the largest employer in the United States with nearly 2.9 million employees, including both service members and civilians. These men and women can be found in more than 160 countries around the world and on all 7 continents. Supporting them is a Herculean task, and the NDAA is a significant way in which we do that. The Defense Authorization Bill also includes a 3% pay raise for our troops and additional support for their families, such as career support for military spouses and quality child care on military bases. Given the fact we have an all-volunteer military, it's important we not only support our service members who wear the uniform, but the families that support them as well. I've heard it said you can recruit a member of the United States military, but if you want to retain them, you got to take care of their family. And I believe that's absolutely true. This bill also ensures previous reforms to improve the quality of military housing and health care are implemented appropriately. Those who serve in our military have made tremendous sacrifices in order to safeguard our freedoms and our way of life. I regard our support for them and for our national defense the #1 priority of the federal government. Everything else pales in significance. So we should do everything in our power to ensure that they and their families are appropriately taken care of. Beyond pay and benefits, that means giving them, the military members, the training, the facilities, the equipment they need, not only to succeed on the job, but to return home safely. The NDAA authorizes military construction projects across the country, including $183 million in Texas, which will bring serious updates and improvements to our military bases. At Joint Base San Antonio, this funding will provide for a range of new facilities, including a barracks, a flight simulation system, and an F-16 mission training center. At Joint Reserve Base Fort Worth, it will support an F-35 operations and maintenance facility, vehicle maintenance shop, and an aircraft maintenance hangar. It will also support fuel facilities at Fort Hood and provide additional funding for the Pantex plant in Amarillo, which maintains a large portion of our nuclear stockpile. Maintained and modernized facilities are a critical component to military readiness, and this legislation makes tremendous investments in our facilities around the world. It will authorize 93 new F-35 Joint Strike Fighters that will be built by Texans in Fort Worth. As we work to counter increasingly sophisticated adversaries around the world, this investment in our military readiness could not be more important. In addition to supporting our members in uniform and ensuring they're ready for action when called upon, the NDAA helps our military take stock of the evolving threat landscape and ensure that our country is taking active steps to counter threats on the horizon. In recent years, China and Russia have risen to the top of the threats to our world, to our country, and to world order, with China now assuming the #1 role. We remember the Cold War after World War II, where we sought to contain and counter Soviet expansionism. And actually, the mutual deterrence that we have established during that time has worked. But China is a unique challenge, and none of the old rules apply to China. They're increasingly belligerent and well-resourced and continue to demonstrate a lack of respect not only for the U.S. and our closest allies, but for basic human rights. The Chinese government continues its disturbing and unacceptable genocide against the Uyghur people. The so-called political re-education camps are nothing more than concentration camps where Uyghurs are tortured. Recent reporting has found that the treatment in these camps often includes forced abortions, birth control, and sterilization. And China continues to chip away at the freedoms and autonomy of Hong Kong, notwithstanding its promises to the contrary, using a so-called national security law to extinguish opposition to the Chinese Communist Party and to deny the people of Hong Kong the freedoms that they were promised. As I mentioned, though China doesn't stand alone as a threat to the world, Russia has become increasingly aggressive around the world in its efforts to wreak chaos and sow discord. Since their attempts to interfere with the 2016 election, we've witnessed aggression after aggression from Russia, not just here in the cyberspace, but around the world. From Russian-backed mercenaries fighting in the Middle East, to its attempt to steal the coronavirus vaccine research, and in the last few weeks, a massive cyber attack on U.S. government agencies. Russia continues to undermine the U.S. and our allies and shows no signs of stopping. It's become increasingly clear, if it wasn't already, that China and Russia adhere to no rules and no principles but their own. As the National Defense Strategy outlined, the threats posed by these two countries are increasingly dangerous, and countering these growing threats requires a clear and concentrated effort from Congress. That's exactly why passing the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, is so important. This legislation prioritizes strategic competition with China and Russia and takes a strong approach to counter the threats posed by adversaries around the world. It will build on the progress we've made in recent years to strengthen Our military, after the draconian cuts during the Obama-Biden administration, and achieved peace through strength. Over the last several decades, the NDAA has provided an annual opportunity for us to take stock of the evolving threat landscape and ensure that our national defense is prepared to meet the challenges, not only of today, but of tomorrow. And this year's Defense Authorization Act is no exception. It takes a strong approach to counter the threats posed by our adversaries around the world. It invests in modernized national defense that's critical to maintaining peace through strength, and it provides support for our service members and their families. And above all, it sends a message to the world that our country is and will remain the global military leader. I've supported this legislation on the Senate floor many times, and I'll do so once again when the opportunity to vote to override the veto presents itself. One of Congress's most critical responsibilities is to provide for the common defense. And the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, is how we will deliver. Madam President, I yield the floor, and I note the absence of quorum.
The clerk will call the roll. Mr. Alexander.
Okay. Okay, so he basically focused on the veto bill by President Trump, and that was with the defense military spending. So you guys, like I said, the Congress or the Senate, whatever bill that they pass, we know we will be getting the $600 stimulus check. And we do have, or the U.S. Treasury Department has until January the 15th to get those payments out to you. If you don't receive the payment, or if they don't distribute the payments before then, it's going to be up to you to claim your check. And that's with your tax returns, and it's called the rebate credit. Okay, so if you owe money, they're gonna deduct the money that you owe, and if you are owed a refund, they'll add it to your refund. Let's see what's going on here.
Madam President.
The senator from Oklahoma and
President,
chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee. Without objection.
Thank you, Madam President. I was disappointed last week when President Trump vetoed the NDAA. This bill has been out there. This will be the 60th year that we've had the NDAA. The NDAA is the National Defense Authorization Act. And I've said so many times, countless times, on the floor of the House and the floor of the Senate, that this is the most important bill that we have. Some people don't agree with that, but I do. That's what we're supposed to be doing here. We're supposed to be defending America. And there's a lot, we're in the most threatened situation we've ever been in. I sometimes look back and think of the good old days of the Cold War, when we had two superpowers out there, and we knew what they had, they knew what we had. The mutual assured destruction meant something at that time. You kill us, we kill you, and everyone's happy. But that's living in the past. But anymore now, with the weaponry that's out there, you can get one outside group that doesn't have any resources at all, and they have the ability to wipe out another country. It's a real threat that we're up against. I do chair the committee called the Senate Armed Services Committee, and of course, I've been very active in the National Defense Authorization Act every year since 1987. It's a long time. So I'm proud of the conference report that we had, the NDAA right here. Our vote in this Senate was 84-13. Wow, that's you can't find that kind of togetherness in a cause anywhere else. But it puts members of the family of the military first, and I share the President Trump's frustration about Section 230, and I know that it's a complicated thing. The majority of people in America don't know what that's all about. But Section 230 is something that has nothing to do with the military, nothing at all. The committee that I chair is the Armed Services Committee. That would be found in the jurisdiction of the Judiciary Committee. The Judiciary Committee is chaired by Senator Lindsey Graham. He does a great job chairing that. That's where any kind of reform in Section 230 should come from. And I agree that the president should have the authority to determine troop levels. That's what we have in this bill. We have we have the president making those decisions. That's why we made sure that the final NDAA gave the president very broad authority in determining troop levels all around. And we've looked at them in Western Europe, in Eastern Europe. We've looked in Afghanistan and other places around the world, and so we look at what we've done. And I was going to mention, I've been down here several times talking about the president, what he has done, and what he has done, the great job that he's done.
Okay, so everyone is addressing the veto bill for now. So like I said, you guys, it really is disheartening to the American people, and it's kind of a smack in the face that they're just gonna not address the immediate needs of the people. And then also, even the bill that they passed, it has so many stipulations in there, it's gonna, some people can't even take advantage of it. Like even the stimulus checks, the direct payments, they have where you have to have, or your independence must be 17 or younger. It's like, okay, what if I take care of college students? So what if I have an 18-year-old that's still in high school? So it's like they didn't really, I don't know if they was trying to rush and pass something, but it wasn't well thought out. Just like the CARES Act, it wasn't well thought out. And also they put this stipulation where the Secretary Treasurer or the U.S. Treasury Department has until January the 15th to distribute to direct payments to 160 million Americans. And I read a report this morning, only 75% of the people that's eligible for a stimulus check receive direct deposit. They're hoping that it's increased since the last one, but it's going to be millions of other people, or about 20 million people, that have not received a stimulus check. So you guys, hopefully you were one of those people that received the direct payment or direct deposit. And if you know anyone that's on Social Security benefits or VA benefits, they should have received a direct deposit or a debit card, a prepaid debit card. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to issue out the very same way, the payment the very same way. And if you don't receive the payment before the 15th, it's going to be up to you to claim that payment on your taxes.
Mom, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you too. Can you step out for a second? So kids. So I mean, if you want to claim your stimulus check, you must do it through your taxes when you claim your taxes, and you must, hopefully you won't have to do it because you got a direct deposit. But if you don't receive it, it's going to be up to you to claim it. And they're saying it's time. If you didn't receive a check before the first stimulus check, they said you still could claim that on your taxes. It's called a recovery rebate credit. Okay? So, let me see. Good morning, Lisa. I thought I seen a question in here. I don't see anything in here. Yeah, so we're just
I want an apple.
just waiting. Mitch McConnell, he doesn't want to hold a vote right now.
What?
He wants to wait. I think I don't know how advantageous of him to wait until the changeover to wait on that vote, but I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure what his game plan is. Don't do that. What are you doing? Kiana Morgan says if it shouldn't be if the money distributed by the 15th. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be. They shouldn't have that stipulations in there. They shouldn't have, oh, if your kids are 17 or under. Well, hell, if I got an 18-year-old or 19-year-old that's a dependent, you know, why wouldn't you give me stimulus check for that child? Because ultimately it is a child. If I'm paying tuition for a child in school, why wouldn't I receive a stimulus check for that? It's just ridiculous. So it's two things. You could get direct deposit if you got direct deposit before, but it has to be, the U.S. Treasury Department has until January the 15th. So if they cut your check on January the 15th and it's mailed, you will get it. But if you don't receive it, it's up to you to claim it on your taxes, okay? So Jewel Kitco, she's saying, so the PPP and grant options will delay as a result now? No, it's not delayed. The only thing that they were trying to make an amendment was on the direct payment. And as of now, you still will get the $600 direct payment. I mean, if they're not going to vote on the 2000, they just put forth whatever's in the bill. So the PPP, you'll still take advantage of the PPP, and you can still take advantage of the EIDL grant. Now, I have another video that I made about the EIDL grant. There's some stipulations in that for the EIDL grant. I mean, for those people who they applied and they didn't have enough money for the grant, you might still be eligible for the grant. But now for the new people, if you're not located in a certain area, you might be out of luck, you know? So, but yeah, so I got a PPP video discussing the eligibility. Cannon, Stop screaming. I got a PPP video. Cannon, go. Bye. PPP video dropping today. And then my EIDL video discussing in details and eligibility requirements will be dropping tomorrow. Okay, so just bear with me. Editing, my computer's been not my friend lately, so I've been having troubles saving the information. I don't know if I just got to do a data dump because it's taking a long time to do it. Anywho, so, well, thank you for joining me. Yes, Kiana, you have to wait till your taxes come back for if you have to claim that credit. You do. And that is some BS. And that's what I've been saying. Why in the world, this is supposed to be a direct payment, immediate payment to the American people, and I have to wait. If the IRS doesn't fulfill that 15th day mark, now I have to wait, which is ridiculous. Go to irs.gov. It says it right here. You know, notice 1444. If you receive that notice, you could claim your last stimulus check. But if you're talking about this one, they have the 15th till the 15th to mail out everybody's check. And if you don't receive it, you have to do a recovery rebate credit. Why are they doing that? I don't know. That's just ridiculous. Your guess is good as mine. Okay. And every time I talk about it, I get really upset. How they're just screwing over the American people. You know, so, well, if something changes in regards to if they do put a vote out this week, I will be streaming, so you guys could stay tuned for that. And remember to subscribe to my channel. Please like this video, and I am sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.